The title of this lesson is Discrimination is a Farce to Hide Our True Identity. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 with verse 15, and it says, But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
America. It's the idea that if you're not white, the deck is somehow stacked against you. And that is true. Government studies and academic research show over and over again that to be black in America is to face bias. What you might not realize is just how constant, varied, and idiosyncratic that bias can be. So, using all these studies, let's try to paint a picture of a life that millions of black Americans live. If you're black in America, you run into bias at a pretty young age. If you walk to school in the morning, you might have to wait longer to cross the street. Drivers stop less frequently for black pedestrians than for white. If you misbehave in school, you might be punished more harshly than your white classmates, even if you broke the same rule. And when you apply to colleges, your disciplinary record might make it harder to get in. If you're black in America and you're looking for a job, you might have to look harder. Job applicants with black-sounding names receive fewer callbacks than those with white-sounding names. And if you get the job, keep in mind that you'll be working just as hard as your white colleagues, but might make 30% less than them. If you're black in America and you want to buy a house, your agent might show you fewer properties than his white clients. And if you manage to find your dream home, you might have a harder time getting a bank loan. If you're black in America, you might get pulled over by the police more than your white friends. If that happens, police are more likely to search your car, and they're more likely to use force against you if there's a misunderstanding. If you're arrested and convicted of a crime, your sentence might be harsher too. If you're black in America and you get sick, you might have to tough it out. Doctors prescribe pain relievers to black patients less frequently than to white patients, and sometimes life-saving heart medication too. If you're black in America and you're getting older, make sure to plan ahead. You might have a harder time getting into a nursing home than your white friends or family. And finally, if you're black in America and you're tired of this bias and you want to use your vote to change the system, it won't be easy. When you try to learn about where or how to vote, local officials might not even return your call.
So this fast in Great Babylon actually started from the 1960s. Well, actually, you can go back into the days of slavery where Esau had already put it into Jake's head that he was beneath him and that he was nothing more than slightly above an animals. Okay, and that's the reason why you have the Martin Luther King Jr. Showed up as the leader of the civil rights movement. You have the Black Lives Matter that came around in the 2000s, and then you have all of these unnecessary laws, what they deem as anti-discrimination. Okay, and one of the most grievous things that you need to understand too is these corporations in America that actually train their 99.9% white, so-called white, okay, Asians and other tribes, okay, about discrimination and equal opportunities, okay, and how to identify when somebody is being discriminated against. And you know the thing about it is, there's not one representation of Jake inside these meetings, okay, which is just pure folly. Now, Esau has set this up because, wow, this continuously keep Jake, okay, he's controlling Jake's direction in which to point their eyes to, okay, and their ear to. Now, when we go, then we bring up the scriptures that Deuteronomy 28 said that we would be punished for our transgression against the Most High Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, that we will be taken into a foreign land, speaking a foreign language that we don't know, okay, and be oppressed until we have served our punishment, and Yahweh by Shem Yahushai returns to redeem us. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 20, and it says, the Lord Yahweh Shai shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in the darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. See, Jake don't want to listen to this because right here, this identifies exactly who we are, okay, which is the reason why Esau has come up with this discrimination thing, as if we are some, special, project for the world to have pity on these people because they can't just emerge out of being at the bottom when in fact we were told that we would be brought down lowly. Okay, that's why our history has been hidden like that. So this is a great farce, and Jake is eating it up. Let's go into this is Deuteronomy 28 verse 45, and it says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh by Shemi Ashai, thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and wonder, and upon thy seed forever." Okay, so we are the only people experiencing this. Okay, we're the only ones that we can have 3 or 4 or 5 degrees, 3 or 4 times smarter than the other tribes, yet still we can't get into jobs. Okay, we're the only ones that's picked on and oppressed in everyday society. So that tells you that there's a curse. Okay, and what we bring up to Jake is like these curses are upon us because of our disobedience. But there's also good news. We are going to be redeemed from this. Okay, and in another lesson, I will go into it, Lord willing. Deuteronomy 30:7 say that these curses will then go on to these other tribes and these other tribes and these other nations. Okay, during the rule of the kingdom. Okay, they're going to get this oppressed, and there's not going to be any fake laws, pretending to help them, or trying to set up these agendas like, hey, why don't y'all go do a march? Why don't y'all go and vote? Okay, and see, this is Esau right here. Esau's controlling Jake head. Okay, now Yahweh Shemi Ashai has Esau on the left doing all of these things to Jake, especially the 2/3 who refuse to come back to their power. Okay, refuse, and it doesn't matter that the prophets and elders and teachers and brothers have been raised up to bring the truth out. This is verse 48, and it says, "Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahweh Shemi Ashai shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron on thy neck until he have destroyed thee." Okay, and that's exactly what has happened. The mind has been destroyed, physically has been destroyed. You're eating abomination food. I mean, that Edomite in that video is basically, he's admitting all the oppressive things that they've done to us, yet still at the same time he's trying to say, well, if you do this, if you go and you vote, but then nobody's really going to listen, maybe you want to have a plan for your old age like that because you're not going to get medical treatment, which a lot of these illnesses are caused because what? We disobey the laws of not eating abominable foods such as pork, okay, and seafood, okay, which doesn't have scales, okay? So it's these are things that all we have to do is just follow the command, okay? But this is not going to happen until Yahweh Shai returns and changes out this wicked body and give us our new body and then set us in our own kingdom, and then we get to rule over these people. This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68, okay? Because our people still don't want to listen. Now all they have to do is listen to this, because look around and see who actually this fits with. And it says, "And the Lord Yahweh Shemi Ashai shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, that thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondsmen and bondswomen, and no man shall buy you." Show me the people in Israel right now what ships they were brought on into slavery. Huh? None of them even can tell you what tribe they're from. They say they're Jewish. Okay, so what happened to the other 11 tribe? How come there's no Benjaminites? Okay, where are the Benjaminites? Okay, Levites. Okay, they can't bring it up. See, Jake's them don't want to follow, and when we bring this up, okay, here it is. This is the reminder. Okay, this is the transgression against Yahweh by Shemi Ashai, and we had to pay the price for this. And Esau does not want you to understand, okay, who you are, because if he had to come up with something in order to trick you, and that was discrimination. And that is what's kept Jake focused. Because why? At the end of it all, Jake, in reality, his level, okay, of reaching to the great peak is to be able to sit down, as you can see in this picture here, and share a glass of wine with his master, the so-called white man, Esau. Okay? That is the height of he wants to go, because he does not have the spirit in him like the rest of us who have been awakened, okay, who are in this truth and hope to be part of the hopefully elect, okay, to be kings and rulers in the next kingdom, okay, which has been promised to Jacob, which is Yasharallah, Israel. All right. So I'd like to close out by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the teachers and elders of Apostles of a Great Millstone. Also to you brothers that are putting the truth faithfully, fearlessly, feeding the sheep. And to you brothers and sisters that are tuning in, Shalom. Discrimination does not exist. It is a farce. And Esau know that we know it.